professionals in the field, but they can show you what to do, to scale in your tech career. So without much ado, I want us to start with the first speaker. The first speaker is Mr. Dolapo. He's a very good brother of mine. We've known each other for, if not over 6 years now. You know, he's a data scientist. He's also a certified project manager, a statistician, data analyst, graphic designer, product designer, corporate trainer. The list goes on. So he will be uh, telling us how to start a career in tech with a focus on, we focus soft skills, project management, and the like. So please enjoy yourself. You know, just note some things down, and if you have questions, drop it in the comments or the chat box. So, Mr. Dolapo, please, can we have you now?
All right. Good evening, everybody. I believe everybody can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Everyone can hear you.
Since you can hear me, I think everybody should. I don't know. It has been long. When I hear people call me Mr. Dorako, it's always very funny. Anyways, but in one way or the other, at least I've been hearing it for a while, so I think I need to get used to it. Okay, so it's so good to be here with each and every one of us, and I can say to us that there's nothing as interesting as being in a space like this, because a lot of times there is always struggle around a lot of things because we don't necessarily know how. Okay, um, there is a part of the scripture I love so much. Permit me to use that on this platform. You know, he was saying that something around, for they know not how to enter the city. Okay, so some people were actually, I'm just picking out a phrase. If I'm to expand on that, it will take our time. So let me stay with that phrase of, some people can be in a particular position for a long while because they don't know how to go forward. And whenever you want to do something and you don't know how to go forward, one of the likely things that happen to you is that you become frustrated. Trust me. And when frustration comes in, then there's nothing you can do. You just get tired, and you may not necessarily have direction. Okay, so I am Dolapo, as rightly said, and I've been. I don't know. I'm always scared to tell people I'm into tech because when I look at other persons that are into tech, they have a lot of things to show for it. All right. But in one way or the other, you may not have so much to show for it at the moment. But I know that in my little space, I've been in tech for a while, for about, if I'm not mistaken, probably about 4 years. And beyond that, I've not only been in tech, I've also passed the knowledge I have in tech to others. So by privilege, I've been a lecturer in university for the past more than 2 years now. So yeah, and the basic thing I've been doing is actually lecturing students on tech skills. Okay, so just know that you're in safe hands. I have a very short time, but I needed to say all of these things to you because it's part of the things you need to start your journey in tech. All right. So let me start by saying that a lot of us are more excited. A lot of people are excited about tech much more than wanting to go into it. Please take note of what I just said. A lot of people are more excited about tech than wanting to go into it. Everybody wants the accolade of I'm a tech person much more than um, being committed to saying that, oh, I want to move into tech. Because everybody just wants to get the feel. I don't know. In time past, I think people that feel that way are people that are medical doctors. If you're a medical doctor, you are in a university, they treat themselves separately. Okay, they treat themselves like a big boy or a big girl. But now it seems as though tech people are much in the limelight. So everybody are excited about I'm a tech person much more than wanting to go through the process. Okay. So tonight I'm just going to be talking about some few things because of our time. And with my little experience, I can tell you, I won't share my story, but in the midst of my communication, I might need to tell you some few things that have helped me personally. Okay, so if you want to go into tech, I would like to tell you that what I would like to tell you is that there are various aspects of tech that you can go into. Okay, and I say to people at few tech conferences I've been that um, everybody wants to think more, just like the way but I was saying that everybody wants to think more in the regard of saying that, oh, I want to whenever you head of tech, you want to think about coding, you want to think about developing, you want to think about web design, you want to think about web development, you want to think about data science or no. I'm a data scientist. Okay, so but I can tell you like with no out of doubt that okay, I do quite well in data science. I do quite well in data science. Okay, I've pursued master in data science, and I'm going to pursue a PhD in data science. So you should know that I'm really going full time into it. I do it in practice and all of that. So, but at the same time, I can tell you that it's not life is not all about data science, not about data engineering, not about web development, not about cyber security and all of that. Okay. One of the things that you need to know is that there are various aspects of tech that everybody must go into. So if you want to go into tech, one of the things I will first tell you is that sit yourself down and first check what exactly is your interest. There is no anybody that have any aspect of tech like there's no interest you can have in tech, or there's no kind of interest you can have that doesn't have a space in tech. Let me just put it that way. So if you first look at yourself, what exactly is my interest? Like forget what you are hearing from everybody. See, everybody wants to magnify what they are doing. I tell my students in school that everybody wants to magnify what they are doing. For example, some people will tell you that they are web development, and the next thing is that they want to magnify it for you, making you think that they are better than you. They are doing the hard thing. You do the same too. If you're a university student, nobody in university ever agreed that their course is simpler than another course, right? Am I correct? If you are with me, please make use of the chat box well. So if you can't respond here, a lot of us always believe, or is there anybody? Let me tell you one of the like lie that all of us come to believe. You believe your course is the hardest, and you believe your university is the hardest. How many of us believe that way? Like if you tell people that, oh, you learning is hard, people will tell, hey, have you come to FUTA? You get, or some people will tell you, have you come to OAU? And people will say, OAU is hard. You say, have you to this thing? Because everybody wants to magnify what they are doing because they want to put themselves as the best. Okay. So, leaving all of those accolades of people saying that, oh, this is the aspect of tech I am in, and all of that, first look at it that you yourself, what is your interest? Don't follow the noise of everywhere. You know, I could remember when I want to move into tech, I was privileged to stay with after my NYC, during my NYC, I was privileged to meet a very special person that is part of the person that encouraged me more into tech. His name Toby, and you know, he's a graphics designer. I was privileged to become a self-publicity secretary, which he was a predecessor to me then. And I saw the way he do tech, do graphics design. I became more interested. I could design before, trust me. But when I came and I saw him design, I I came to understand that I don't know design. Okay. I've had passion for design, but in my journey, I realized that immediately I keep seeing this him, I keep understanding that, you know, I don't know anything. And that bet my interest more. I was not humiliated. And thank God he's not a proud man. He also brought me in and began to give me a kind of guide. I began to see his process and I began to follow it. Okay. So I studied statistics in school. So in case you are thinking that how did I become a data scientist? I studied statistics in school. So in one way or the other, I end up becoming data scientist. You get. So and since I study statistics, the only route that is happening for me. So in my NYC also, I started to take a course more to learn more on R, on Python, and all of that. Then now moving forward, having such person as my I love design. So I began to learn design also because I have passion for it. I do have a passion for graphics, so I began to do it. Okay, so and on the long run, I also begin to build my career around data science. Okay, so when I finished NYSC, I'm a little bit better in design, and I was privileged to probably be in a company. So I was privileged to be in a company of designers in Nevada and developers, right? So in one way or the other, I got into it. I don't have any other option than to get into it. If you are not motivated by money, I was motivated by how selfless those that I'm with are doing. And I'm still going to talk about that in a very short time. Okay. So that's how I came into tech. So now, beyond the excitement of people, I told people, I said I can't develop. I've tried it a few times. I said I can't be a developer. I can't be a web developer. Like, I've been pressured into it several times. I said I can't do it. I said it's too hard. Funny how I've learned programming languages that are other than the
Programming
languages I've
language
learned,
that
other than the languages I ran away from. Hey, who is okay? Good. So I've learned programming language that are other. Part of the programming language that I've learned that seems harder than probably development is R programming. R is extremely harder for data scientists. But I've done a lot of things that is very. I've done data modeling, I've done machine learning with R. I know we have a data engineer here, so he knows what I'm saying. I've done sentimental analysis with R. I've done factor analysis with R. I've done principal component analysis with R. I've done a lot of things with R programming. But at the same time, I those things are hard. But I realized that when it comes to development, I'm meeting that block. So I don't need to push it further. Okay. So I just understood that what aspect do I need to go into? That's the first thing you need to know if you are going into tech. Now, and after that, don't let the hard guys intimidate you. So now, I've told you now that now graphic design is a hard skill because it involves computing, it involves a lot of technicality. In case you are now moving into probably UI UX, which I do too, and in product design, you become more intentional with computing. But when you move on to now start probably you want to go into data science and all of that, it becomes more hard, all of those things. So now in my journey now to move into my lecturing, I was an opening came up to look for tech guys that are more into soft skills. And also I began to pursue a professional certification in project management. Okay, so I began to train myself. Then I just got my admission into UI for masters then in medical statistics. So, and funny how when I told you medical statistics now, you'll be thinking again that medical, wow. Okay, so but that was what I began to pursue my masters in UI then when I got in. So and funny how after that came up, I just like okay, I started pursuing professionally when an opening came up for me to become a lecturer in a private university. So I began to pursue myself professionally on project management. Some people had a discussion with me, one of a senior friend in tech, and told me that, do you know that there are some skills in tech that is not as hard as coding? That there are things you do on day-to-day activity. And I'm going to mention some few to you so that in one way or the other, in case your own is not the route of probably coding, your own is not the route of, you realize that how many of you have picked code before and realize that it doesn't work for you? I'm telling you, even some of you that claim designer with Canva, you will realize that when you saw the design for this program, you will be wowed because I don't know who designed the flyer, but it's quite very much okay, at least to a large extent. But you cannot you, like when people just realize that coding, so there's no point. All of us cannot code. But I can tell you that I tell people that in this current job market, a project manager will buy a developer. Like, and let me now tell you the reality. The reality is that the work is not as hard as coding. I can tell you very also, if you move into project management, if you know that you're a reading person, like project management are things you do on day-to-day activity. I'm already citing some of the soft skill you can look into. You have project management, you have digital marketing, and all of those kind of courses. Okay, they are just soft skill courses that you can pick up, that you can easily learn. For example, social media management and all of that. All of those skills are not as hard as development, and they are all tech skills too. Some people will just say that they are tech and professional skills, and in that light, they are much more, they pay people much more even than tech skills, than hard skills. For example, if you're a product manager now, you'll be managing a group of developers. But now tell me, you that are managing developers, you think that they will pay the developer more than you? It's not possible. Trust me, it's not possible. Yes, I've worked few times on projects, like few times, and few times that I work on project, I can tell you how some of like I can tell you that there's a way you work as a project manager that is not possible for people to be under your team and get money much more than you because you are the one to pay them. You are a digital marketer, and you are looking at, oh, why should I go into digital marketing and all of that? There are different companies are paying millions of naira, I mean millions of dollars to people to be digital marketers. I'm telling you, these are skills that people need to embrace, and people are not doing anything about it. These are tech skills, okay, that you can move into social media management. If you talk about digital marketing, I'm talking about SEO, SEM, search engine optimization. You have seen that thing on Google before now. That what's it called now? You see that you search a particular thing, just get to my go and search your name. You may not be there, you may not be there at all. And you search another person's name, it can be top. If you search my name, I'm sure I will be almost at the top. If I'm not at the top, I'll be at the top. Because in one way or the other, I've optimized social media enough to ensure that if you search anything that is related to me, I'm the one showing forth. The same thing happen. Businesses pay millions of naira to ensure that happens for their businesses. So we have a lot of ways where people we have a lot of ways where people also businesses also want to, or probably let me put it this way, we have a lot of ways where a lot of businesses actually are looking for people that have soft skills also, because hard guys will be working at the back. They need the soft guys to ensure the company have its visibility. All right. So I'm seeing someone Samoge. I hope it's the Samoge I know. So now I'm just saying to us really that we really have a lot of aspect of tech that we can move into, much more than the ones we are seeing. What other things that we can also look at in text that are some skills that you may not necessarily have looked into before now? And let me let you know this in case you don't know. Maybe I want you to know that over 67% of hiring managers actually believe that soft skills people are more important than the technical skills guys in the whole world. Over 67% of people that are hiring people trust more in people with soft skills, much more than people with hard skills. Yeah. Because now that's just how it is in the job market. Most people don't know. And as at this time I'm talking to you, leaving data science out as one of the most major job demand, like the most demanded job or tech skills currently in the whole world. I can tell you that, I can tell you this that project management rank number two as the most demanded job in the whole world. I have a lot of students currently in the US, okay, and I've privileged to also train people several times. Like there was a time I trained some guys in South Africa, and even though I don't let me say this because I don't know where the recording will get into. Okay, so I was able to train some guys in South Africa about 2 months ago, and we're talking about something related to this, especially on soft skills. So I can tell you that project management is still ranking one of the top most demanded job in the whole world, in the whole world. Digital marketing as such, social media management as such, and a lot of soft skills as such. And also another aspect of tech that people underrate or that has been so underrated is training. Now, in one way or the other, you may not know so much, but you can make sure that you learn the anatomy of whatever aspect of tech you are going into. Learn the integrity of it, know it to the core. And let me say this, probably as a round up, that to you that you need to also know that now, um, there's no aspect of tech you can go to. One of the major things you need to know is actually the fact that you must be the best in that aspect. Let me let you know that there's no aspect of tech that you can't be making blood money. That's why I tell people, I mean blood money, really. There are people working in Nigeria that collect as low as 3 million naira per month, as low as 1 million naira per month. I mean, they are not working for international companies. They are working for Nigerian companies. Yeah, yes, I got a friend now currently, he just relocated from Canada to Nigeria. Imagine. He relocated from Canada to Nigeria because a company decided to bring him in. They promised him 4 million naira every month with accommodation in Abuja. That's how he relocated back. They brought him back because they want to make him CTO, Chief Technical Officer of the company. And they brought, they had to do that because they needed him. And should I blow your mind? This guy is a project manager. He doesn't have any knowledge of development. And they brought him as chief technical officer. They wanted someone that is quite vast. Yes, since he has been in Canada for more than 10 years, they just feel that it's a good point for him. And they brought him down to Nigeria. He was even glad. He said he will be coming back to, since he has a permanent residence in Canada, he will just become Canada, but he said he will be staying in Nigeria. I'm telling you, people are relocating. The way people are relocating from Nigeria to abroad, people are also relocating from abroad back to Nigeria. Trust me, because there are some jobs that actually worth it in return, but there are some jobs also that are not really big deals. You can sit on your system for long hours. If you know that's not your thing, it's not necessary for you to be a designer. One of the most molested aspect of tech is graphic design. In fact, a lot of time I'm ashamed to tell people I'm a designer. I stopped designing for a while because I saw people molest design, and I'll be like, Nibola Jasi, how did we get here? A lot of people molest. In case you are part of the people that molest design, leave graphic design for the designers. You can come. We need you in social media management. You can type. You can. There's one girl I know. What's it called now? But I should know. Ejiro was just doing our social media management in SCF then, and she always help us upload. Do you know funniest part of it is that when she left NYC, she didn't do anything. She went to University of Agriculture. She didn't do anything related to tech than that. And funny how she started working with Yaba Left as one of their online whatever people that help them with content. That's how it is. Build your skill. Those little things. I tell people you practice project management every day. If you have ever organized your birthday, your parents' birthday, your friend's birthday, organize a wedding, organize anything in life. In fact, you are attending a university, planning your life, and you graduated, you are a good project manager. These are various aspects of tech that you can easily move into. And in case you also want to move into digital marketing, as far as you can publicize yourself, you gist with your friend, you know how to tell the story to people, you know how to lie, you know how to do all of those things. Nobody taught you. They are inherent skill. These are some of the things that you can build up on. And some other things you need to sharpen in order for you to be the best in this aspect of tech. Your communication skill. You must have ability to communicate. You must be able to communicate your idea. I always tell people, I can't be rejected in an interview, except if probably you have preference for another person. Why? Because I know I will communicate myself. I will let you know that I'm the best. I tell people in my workplace while I was working in school, I tell people that before you can beat me out as my colleague, you will try. You come to my class. But my HOD then we always tell some people that okay, why don't you just join this person's class? Because now the point is that if you are the best, you are the best. All right. And I strive to be more than the best. So these are some of the aspects of tech you must learn some skills like collaboration, teamwork. You must learn teamwork. Throw yourself into team that can help you develop yourself. Don't be too proud. And that's one of the loophole we found out in a lot of people in tech. You know small thing. You are bragging with someone that you know you don't know that you know that is your senior anyway. I saw it. I do see this thing on Twitter a lot of times. Me, I may not say anything, but I want to learn. If I know that you are better than me, I want to learn from you. You must learn this thing is easy, and you must be able to adapt to the revolution of times. Don't just say this is what I know. Before, when I started design, I used CorelDRAW. When I came, I see someone using Photoshop. I didn't stay and say, now it's CorelDRAW I know how to use, and I can do anything with CorelDRAW. Clinical and all. No, 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 no. Yes, currently I've written two professional exams in project management, and I can tell you currently there's a shift in dynamics. They just released a new exam for project management in PMI, which is an official body I'm part of. And I'm telling people that I'm going to write the new exam. Why? Because there's a revolution. My certificate is still valid for the new exam. If I don't write the new exam, it doesn't change anything. I'm still certified. But I told people that I will write it because I want to see how the new exam look like. It's building up yourself. Be intentional in building up yourself. That's how to move in tech. Don't just say that this thing I've known it. There's nothing else. No, it doesn't work that way. Be intentional in building up. Challenge yourself with a lot of things. Challenge yourself with people around you. Challenge yourself with like tell yourself that I need to. You can't want to go into tech and be sleeping. No. I tell people in your building phase of tech, sleep is not your friend. Yes, there are times that I barely sleep 4 hours. I'm not exaggerating. And that can go on. In fact, if I give you a funny example, this my last concluded week. In 5 days, I slept for 6 hours. In 5 days, like the total hours I slept in 5 days was 6 hours. Why? Because I have some things I'm keeping up with. I'm working on a particular document for a company. All right. It's an international company, anyways. And I was working on that document. And funny how that since I think I posted it a little bit that I was working on the sentimental analysis for McDonald's. And I was doing it and I was like, I needed to keep up. I couldn't sleep. I was watching tutorial because I've not mastered that aspect well. I was watching tutorial and I was still working on it. So these are some of the things you can't sleep and have pot belly and think you are moving into tech. It's not possible. You must first deprive yourself of sleep and food. Yeah. And you will not be eating too much so that you will not be too heavy. And all of the things you think about is sleep. So tech people, you guys, do you see fat people in tech? That's just by the way. How many of you have seen anybody in tech that is fat? You can be big, chubby, like evidence of good living. It's different from being fat. There are some people that have evidence of good living. Okay, that one is there. If you're in tech, you have that because you sit a lot. You have evidence of good living. But no, you may not be the best in case you are. You must just try to check a lot of things and put yourself into it. You must also be emotionally intelligent. Build up yourself on your emotional intelligence. If you want to go into tech, you must build yourself. You must be very, very emotional intelligence. You must be like develop self-awareness, self-regulation, empathize with colleagues and clients, navigate conflict with emotional intelligence. You must build that kind of skill, or else you cannot thrive in the job market as a tech person. And also, let me say this to you: there's always challenges, and there will always be challenges. Don't um, don't just um, don't just be sleeping and be waking up, or just think that everything will go in your way. No, no, no. There's always challenges in tech. And I must say to you, take up professional courses today. Don't look into, yes, you can look into that. If you have, I can tell you, I told you, I design, in case you don't know, I'm a product designer. Yes, I design graphics, I design flyers, I design web. I have some few apps I've designed. Yeah, and they are good ones. And I do project management. I manage few projects. Yes, I lecture on project management. I lecture on customer relationship management. Yeah, that's another tech skills, a soft skill that you may need to look into customer relationship management. I can remember there was a time, I'm rounding up. I can remember that there was a time I trained people on customer relationship management. I trained 50 people, yes, on customer relationship management. And I won't tell you the amount that was paid. But the amount that I was paid was really much. Yeah, I can tell you the truth. It was really much because training is more interesting. It's more interesting. Like customer relationship management, if you are going into accounting sector, you need it. You need business analysis. Now you need business analytics. Now that one is not even more into coding. It's just more into visualizations and all of that. So you need all of those things, and you need to know them. Really, you need to know them. There are different aspects of tech that you need to build yourself on, and you need to keep improving yourself on daily basis. I hope that there will be a more convenient time. So I decided I have slide, but I can't use it. If I use it, I won't like I can't cover it. I have slides of over 30 slides to talk about. But when I saw the time, I just feel that it's better that I just give you a rundown, which is what I do. This rundown is just probably I'm just giving a recap. So in case it's not comprehensive enough, you can try to ask questions. And in case we find a reason, probably to have a more elaborate session, I know that our convener will do justice to that. So thank you. and God bless you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dolapo. I think you need to get used to that already. Dolapo Eshe, thank you. I'm sorry, thank you for the session. I was just jotting. I hope everyone, had the opportunity to jot one or two. My note is just, almost full. So he was able to mention some things that, of course, don't worry. I I will do a recap for everyone. Like we get the slides also. I hope you release the slides for us. I know people are interested in knowing the details of what you have in those slides. So I will be sharing some of those materials with us, and I will do a breakdown of some of these things because actually the my intention for this webinar is not just to have another meeting. I really want to see people start something in tech in whatsoever skills they are interested in. That point is very important. I note it down, your interest, because I've invited some people to, let's say, my own field now, instructional design. And the first thing that motivates them is what they will get, like, when you mention some of the figures that they can get, they feel like, let's do it. And at the end of the day, they can't put in the time to learn. And also, they are looking at getting that figure, let's say in the next 2 months, you want to have those figures, which tech is not Ponzi schemes, quick, just put your investment, put your money into the training, and after 2 months, you are earning, let's say, thousands of millions of naira. It's it's not a quick, you know, that's what it's not a quick all this I don't know, yeah, Ponzi scheme. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It's a career that
It's
you
not
have
a
to
get rich quick.
that's the word. It's not a get rich quick sort of thing. So he mentioned something else, how that soft skills are, they are not rated high. Like, when you discuss generally, when people hear tech, you want to be hearing something like coding and other. But soft skills are very key. They are very key. And they are not as hard as all this web development, coding, and all that. So we might need to start looking at some of those soft skills that was mentioned, project management, digital marketing, social media marketing, product management. And, one of the things we do is we get courses that we can start, that we can start with, probably free courses, but I'm a preacher of paying to learn, actually. It's good to pay to learn, and it's good to be a part of a community that is not just free, paid
Sorry,
community.
sir.
Yeah.
Sorry for breaking in. Yeah, concerning the courses, yeah. If anybody needs, there's a level of partnership that I have with Coursera. So if anybody wants to learn a course of Coursera, so you can just actually reach out. So it's going to be a very subsidized amount, probably maybe less than 10% of what would have been paid.
Wow. That's a
So
loss. Thank you. Thank you,
uh
sir.
okay.
Thank you, sir. Those are some of the opportunities we are looking at. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. So if you have interest in learning a course on Coursera, please reach out to me. Then I will know how to connect you with. So without taking our time, we are seriously behind schedule. I'll be going to the next speaker. Our next speaker is Mr. Jerry. Mr. Jerry Israel is a brand identity designer, if I'm correct. Yeah, a brand identity designer. He's on mission to help brands, gain clarity. He's into visual identity, and I've also known Mr. Jerry for a long time. Let's say about 6 years. So I think that shows you that connection and keeping your network, having the relationship with your networks is very key. It's very key. We've worked together on some project. I've asked him to do one or two things, maybe recommend some people to learn from him and all that. So when you have connections, it's good to maintain those connections, good relationship with them. So I will just give him the space to speak. So, Mr. Jerry, if you can hear me, the floor is yours, sir.
Good evening, everybody. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are. We can hear you, sir.
Let me just turn on my camera for 1 or 2 minutes just to introduce myself.
All right. Wow.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm Jerry Israel, and I'm a brand identity designer, like Mr. Tyrell said. Um, how should I start? Okay, so let me say, at times I don't, how will I put it? I don't usually, should I say, feel confident to say I'm a tech person. Just like
That's the same thing Mr. Dolapo said. He said he's not confident.
exactly,
Personally, I don't call
exactly.
myself a tech person, but my God, you are.
Yeah, so I'm a brand identity designer, and I've worked on some brands both in Nigeria and outside.
Not
I
some,
help
sir.
brands
Many
to gain.
brands. I see
I've
your
helped
work,
brands
sir.
to gain visual. Thank you so much. I've helped brands to gain or to define their visual identity. And yeah, I also have a design academy, Jasper Academy, where I train other design enthusiasts in graphic design and brand identity design. So without taking much time, I have a slide I would like to share. Although it's not detailed, I just try to um, kind of put together some key points I would like to share within the next few minutes. So let me share my screen so that okay. So Mr. Ifedolapo has really done justice to sharing with us some of the soft skills you can learn in the tech industry. There are still some other ones out there, and so from my own, I'll be talking from my own, should I say, experience, and as well from my own niche, right? So although when I started, there wasn't really a, let me say, there wasn't a structured, let me say, there wasn't a structured learning. I think I heard Mr. Taiwo said the same thing when he was introducing the webinar. So there wasn't really a structured learning like that. So, but over the time, I've got to realize that this key points I'm about to share with us will really help us to help you to go a long way in succeeding in your tech career. So, give me a second. Let me. Okay, I believe you can see my screen.
Yes, sir. We can see it.
Um, the first key point I would like to talk about is for you to have a realistic driving force. So, what I mean by a realistic driving force is that for everything we do as human beings, we have a reason for doing it, right? For for every skill you learn, there is a reason for you to, there is a reason why you are learning it, right? Some just want to get into it, into tech because of the money, tech seems to be the, should I say, the oil well now, right? So people just want to, I want to start making, millions of naira. You understand? You have someone that has spent, let's say, 6 7 years in the tech industry and is making a lot of money, and you that are just about to start, you are, you want to start making that amount of money that the person is making. You understand? You can't jump for you to take, right? Why these are not, these insights are not, let me say, it is not a must, right? But you will get a very good result if you can follow these steps. So, like I said, have a realistic driving force. Okay, why do you want to learn this skill? Like, I know we all need money, right? We work because we want to make money, right? But that's like the foremost thing people put in front. And if you have, why I personally, I'm not this kind of person that um like how do I want to put it? I'm not the type of person that I'll put money first. Even if someone reach out to me that I want to work on a certain want to work on their brand, the first thing I will do is to know more, right, about their brand, know their problems, and give them like know their problems, right, and know the strategies I'm going to use to solve it, and then I'll now tell them price. So putting money first, right? Although maybe that's my own personal opinion, right? So I'm not saying you shouldn't charge your work. I'm not saying you should not charge, but coming into tech, I personally don't feel that money should not be your focus, right? Because if money is your focus, you might not really learn the intricacies of these things, key things you need to learn, right? So have a realistic driving force. I have one guy reached out to me, although I've known him for a while, and he reached out to me about I think 2 weeks ago, and I've seen him do some designs about maybe 2, 3 years ago, although he was a student then, and his works are not, let me say, professional enough. Okay. And he just reached out to me all of a sudden that I want to start making a lot of money in design. And I asked him like, okay, how much do you want to be making? What do you want? Like he said they want to start charging $200, 500,000 for logos. And I said, share your portfolio with me. By the time I look into some of the works he has done, I'm sorry to say I won't be confident to pay him 5,000 naira to design a logo for me. Right. So I told him that this you need to first of all leave this mindset of you want to start making big money. Okay. So this will lead me to my second point, which is develop expertise in your core skill. Okay. Learn the fundamental. I think Mr. Efedola also mentioned this. Learn the fundamentals of the skill you are learning, right? Go back to the basics. Okay, yeah, you're actually just coming in. So let me say, learn the basics. There are principles to, I believe there are, just like there are principles to designs, to brand identity design and that stuff, there are also principles to other areas of tech, data analytics, web development. Learn the fundamentals, okay, and develop your expertise in it. You you if you want to be charging the amount an expert is charging, you need to put in the work and get the result, and also produce the kind of result an expert will produce. Okay, so develop your core skill, either social media management, whichever niche is it that you have interest in. Sit down, learn the principles and learn the basics. So my next point is find and follow tech experts in your niche, right? Look for someone that is already doing well in that particular area where you have interest in. Follow them on social media, look at their works, look at what they do. You can learn from it, okay? And that will lead to my next point, which is seek mentorship and guidance. um it got to a point in my own tech journey that I don't know how it happened, but I was connected to a mentor in the design industry. I don't know if you know him, Tola Labi. He's my design mentor, and I really respect him a lot. And I've learned so much from him.
I know
So
him.
you will get, that's awesome. So you will get to a point whereby there are some things you won't learn in online courses. Mind you, I will still get to that. I'm not saying online courses is not good, right? But there are some things that you need someone to tell you, reply this way. No, don't do this. Approach this like this. It will help you to journey faster than if you are just let me say on your own, right? So seek mentorship. Look for someone like an expert in your niche, right? Reach out to them and just seek for their guidance. Now, I also have a point here. I don't know if it is the next point. I think it's one of the points that don't do away with this mentality of free, right? If the mentorship of this person, you know that it will really help you a lot, find the money and pay for the mentorship. I made mention of Tola Rabi the other time. I paid for his mentorship. He has a club, premium club. I think the price for that club, for that mentorship as at now, I think it's 100,000 or so. I look for the money then, no, I paid for it. And I can't tell how much value I am getting for that from that community. So seek for mentorship, look for someone you admire, right? And let them guide you through. Okay. So the next point is find a good community in your niche. I can't overemphasize the importance of community. There are a lot of things. Others that are in your niche, they are growing, they will share what they are working on. You can share some stuff. It might be a video clips, it might be an article, it might be something that will also help you understand, to grow in your aspect. So find a community and join them, right? Contribute to whatever they are doing, and you also grow faster that way. So my next point here is build passion project. I actually did this a lot in when I was coming into brand design, and then build passion project. Don't wait until someone will come and we need you to work for them. Build passion project. And actually this has really helped me a lot. In fact, the first international client I had, it was one of the passion project I did and posted online. And the funny thing is that you won't even know that this was not a real project, and he saw it, he reached out to me, oh, he want me. As of today, I can't count the number because it's more like a serial entrepreneur. So he has a lot of businesses. I've worked on his businesses and he's outside. You understand? So build passion projects. Come up with something, just create something, put it out there, let people see what you do. Don't just sit down, oh, I've learned this thing, I've learned web development, I've learned this thing, okay, I'm waiting for someone to give me job. Build passion projects, come up with brief and put your work out there. Okay, so the next point is build a strong portfolio. So those works you are working on, right? Put them online. We have some few portfolio sites online, and the one I use majorly is Behance, right? If you go to Behance, my works are there. So put your work online. Okay. So I will also match this point with another point, and it's like that would be like put yourself outside. Okay. If people don't see, there's this statement that people hire who they know and not who knows how to do it best. If the person that doesn't know how to do it best is not known, they won't hire him. Okay, so put your work outside, right? And my next point is invest in learning courses and mentorship. I've talked about mentorship before. So I was saying something the other time that don't have. I think we in this aspect of the world we like this free stuffs, right? We don't want to pay, we don't want to invest. And I think that's one of the things that is affecting some graphic designers these days. All this graphic designer charging 2K, 3K and like because they don't invest much. Imagine paying for courses 50,000 naira, 150,000 naira for courses, paying for mentorship 250,000 naira. You can't be charging 10,000 naira for whatever you are doing, right? So invest in learning, invest in courses, invest in mentorship, right? And trust me, you will see the difference. Okay. So this should be the second to the last point: volunteer or intern. Okay. So you've to some certain extent you've developed your core skills, you've worked on projects. Don't like I said the other time, don't wait for you to get a job. Volunteer yourself. Volunteer to work. You understand? It could be company, it could be sharing. Like I said, there are some of the things I myself Instagram and I just saw this branch, they're a mess. So I reached out to her via mail and she shared what I was going to do. The first thing she told me was that if can't remember what she said, but she was like, if I have a I'm trying to remember how she actually put it. She said if I have employees, I'll first of all I'll first of all sack all of them and employ and employ you. So that was how it so that was because of how I kind of presented everything. And today, last 1 year, it's been more than a year. I've worked, I can't remember, maybe Sweden or so. So volunteer, it could even be out of that volunteering you are doing that you get, you will get a paid project or a paid work. So volunteer yourself to intern, look for problems, right? I don't mean go and look for wahala, violence. So like just like I said, I saw what this person was doing And I saw that their visual identity is not really giving what was supposed to be given. And I volunteered myself to help them to work on it. You understand? So that is also a good way for you to advance in your tech career. So the last point I just want to say is that it is not a get rich quick scheme like someone said, right? And it is not promised to be smooth. There will be challenges. I remember I had someone then that I worked for, and this person messed with my let me say mental health. I was confused, and that was when I reached out to my mentor. And what he told me was that the first thing you are going to do is discontinue whatever you are doing with this person. He said, I think I forwarded some voice note or so to him that the person sent to me. He said, if I ever get to the point where I myself say this kind of words to you, please disconnect from me. So these are places of mentorship, right? Someone that is ahead of you that can guide you through, right? So there will be challenges. I felt the last also said that you it said something about sleep exam in school that you will born midnight oil, like you born data, you will born midnight oil, like you have to pay the price for you to get that result. So be resilient and be determined. You have to have this strong mind to I need to get this, I need to get this, and so these are just the few points I have here. Have a realistic driving force, develop your expertise, follow tech experts, seek mentorship and guidance, find a community, right, and join, then build passion projects, build a strong portfolio, invest in learning mentorship and courses, then volunteer or intern, and then be focused and resilient. Trust me, if you can follow these tips, it will actually help you a lot. So I think I've even spent more than 20 minutes that was given to me. So I'll be stopping here for tonight. So I don't know if there is any question, or that will be after the third speaker. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So we have questions coming in already. Thank you, Mr. Jerry. Thank you. That was a very, very powerful session. Thank you for slides. You can, yeah, you can turn off this slide now.
Okay, okay, okay.
Wow. So
Second.
I believe we picked one or two things. Actually, as I was going through the slides, I was just like, wow, these are these are things that I went through personally. But like I said initially, we go through it like just without anybody's telling you this is what to do next. There was no step-by-step guidance, You
Uh,
just keep crashing it. I remember I entered into tech, you know, information is key. When it comes to tech, information is key. I got a mail from a woman who is now my mentor. Uh, you may not know her, Tony Malamad in the US. And I was interested in her program, like you mentioned, mentorship. So the program is very expensive because, of course, it is in dollars. And I was just wrapping up my NYSC. So the last allowance, my last allowance was just under consideration. What will I do? What next? But it was not sufficient. I had to borrow more from family friends, to get a laptop, pay for the courses. It was about $37. Many things around it. So these informations are very key. They are very key. You need to develop expertise in niche. I will say this again. Interest is very important, actually. Interest is very important, not money. If you are motivated by money, you get to a point that you tell yourself that I'm not going again, I'm not doing again. So sometimes interest will keep you going, you know. So you should have interest in whatever tech skills that you want to venture in. There are many of them. There are many of them. So you should, if actually, if and another thing I used to say, really, uh, some people may debunk it, but I used to say, okay, I think Mr. Dolapo said it. That coding or the hard skills is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. It's not for me personally. Someone say, are you into coding? Are you into coding? Sincerely, I am not into coding, and I don't think I want to for now, or probably there are some aspect of coding that helps. There are some aspect of coding that helps my work, which is the JavaScript HTML5. Of course, I might look into that, but uh, please drop your questions. I don't want to answer questions, and I don't want to take our time yet, so that we can still meet up with this schedule. So the next speaker really is an AI engineer. So I've been thinking, because we've been in quote and unquote saying hard skills is this, hard skills is that. So, but he is into the hard skills. So please, sir, is an AI engineer. I love him so much. He's a brother of mine. Uh, he he had his masters outside. I'm sorry to say, he had his masters outside in Rome. So he'll be combing every of these things for us. And you also touched down on the hard skill. And probably you are interested in cybersecurity, AI, and software development. You will also be touching how to, the pathway you can follow, probably having a degree, in those specific courses, or just taking a course online. So you'll be touching down on some of those things. So yeah, so you'll be touching down on some of those things. So let me just bring to the screen Mr. Shayo Makinwa. Thank you, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can
Okay, thank you.
hear you, sir.
What is yours?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. We can all hear you.
Okay. All right. I think I may turn off my camera because I think my connection just not long ago started misbehaving. I have switched it up, but using another internet also seems to not be cutting it. But I hope you can see my face properly. This room is better lit than this normally, so pardon me.
Yeah, we can see your face, sir.
All right, I'll be turning my camera off now, and all right, let me turn off all incoming videos also, so that perhaps that can improve the efficiency of my connection a little bit. Okay, I hope my voice is not cracking, and I hope I'm very audible. Um, Sincerely, I have really have been enjoying myself so far. To an extent, I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have to say anything again, because both Mr. Ifedolapo and Mr. Jerry, they have really, um, wow. I've been blown away, sincerely. I feel like I should probably start a career in tech all over again. Um, Sincerely, the tips they've shared, they are so helpful. And in fact, a lot of the things they said, you will notice are in what I'll be sharing too. And um, that just goes to say that these things are really key. I mean, if three people are agreeing on the same thing, then you should really pay attention to it, right? And well, I think four people, including Mr. Taiwo himself. Um, um, I feel very humbled, honestly, to be speaking here. Like I said, looking at the profile of the first two speakers, wow, I probably should have gone first. Um, okay, I have some slides here that I will be sharing. Um, Give me a second to get that up and running. Um, Okay. Yes. All right. I'm sharing my screen now. Um, okay. Awesome. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay.
Others can. Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. Okay. Awesome. So, like I said, there are a number of things here that have been shared. So I will try to not dwell so much on them, again, because I mean, justice has been done to those things. I don't need to even say anything any further. All right. So, well, as I mean, the reason why we're all here is because we acknowledge that it's can be quite challenging to get into the city, like the analogy that Mr. Ifedolapo used, can be quite overwhelming, actually. It's like um, looking for a needle in a haystack. Allow me to use that programming term since I'm supposed to be talking about the hard skills here. Okay, so obviously, without you knowing what you're doing, if you don't know where you're going, you can be it can be quite frustrating, and you might find yourself, you know, um, heading out very quickly. But if you can get the right approach, right, can be quite exciting. And by exciting, I mean the journey. The journey can be quite exciting. Again, um, even Mr. Jerry talked so much about the journey. Can be quite exciting and ultimately rewarding, which is one thing that I feel everyone is very interested in. But the reward is not just it's not just finance. Actually, there is fulfillment, to whatever extent it's acceptable to you. There is fulfillment there. It's also a good thing it's fulfilling to challenge yourself and to accomplish that goal. So, well, before we continue, I'd like to just say that what I'll be sharing are just, my opinion based on my own experience. And by no means stating or saying that that's the only way to make it. No,
It's
there
on now,
are.
Sister Kofo.
Okay. Um,
I was the
can
last
everyone
person
still
Can
hear
you
to
me?
cook,
can you
Abi.
meet can you mute yourself? Let me get that
I was
first.
the last person.
All right, so you can continue, sir.
All right, sir. All right, sir. So, like I said, there are other doors to that city. So the door that I'll be sharing is just the one that I have tried and tested, the one that my experience has taught me. Um, um, Part of my experience also includes teaching, so it's also the one that I recommend. Um, so it's interesting that this is where I'm starting from. This is also where Mr. Jerry started from. You have to define your passion, right? Now, is it the money? Well, for some people, actually, money might be enough to keep you passionate. However, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So I have found out that a lot of people that got in because of the money, they burned and crashed. Before they realized it. It's like when you are running a full marathon and you start by sprinting. You want to get there because that's something that money does to you, right? You want to get it now. And there's a way you just burn yourself out very quickly, and you just realize that no, it's not quite how you thought it would be. So it's okay to it's okay really to get into tech, because you want to be more financially stable, right? But you need to find an additional passion, right? You need to and that's the third point here. You need to identify your an area of interest. Also, I think Mr. Fedolapo, I think probably also Mr. Jerry touched on this, right? Mr. Jerry rather also touched on it where he was talking about you need to find a niche. You know, um, Mr. Fedolapo also mentioned that that's where he said coding is not for everyone. It's true. So don't also allow the buzz to drive you into it's this one that they said is selling now. Let me it's web design now. No, you need to know yourself, right? like I said, your area of interest, that's the fourth point here, might be something that you're naturally curious about, or something that is close to what you're naturally good at. For instance, allow me to keep using the previous speakers as examples here. Mr. Ifedolapo, he got into data science. He had a degree in statistics, right? Naturally, entering the tech world, aside, the project management and all that he talked about, data science is something that he would be able to relate with more naturally because he's a statistician. That's one of the, in fact, if you're getting into data science or data analytics, statistics is one of the things you have to learn. So for him, that's like a more natural pathway for him to say, oh yeah, I want to start by becoming a web developer. Unless he's really curious about that, he might not find that as easy, as he found it getting into data science. Of course, that's not to say that it's absolutely easy, but comparatively, let's say he is trying to become a software developer, the learning curve would be steeper for him, So that's the point I'm making here. So you need to think, what am I naturally good at? What am I, naturally interested in? What am I naturally curious about? So, but of course, to do that, you need to first of all know the different branches of tech. Tech is so broad, right? So you need to know what there are for you to decide, right? So there is data analytics, there is data science, programming. But programming is broad, right? So web development, and there are non-code skills too, as we have heard, quite a bit. And even all these skills all these areas I mentioned, they require varying, degrees of coding. For instance, again, allow me to get a bit more technical. I think that's what my session is about, to be very technical. If any one of us has seen heard of DevOps, for instance, DevOps is something that's quite technical, a lot more technical than web design and development, right? So, and by technicality, I mean in the how do I describe it? In how much, let me say, how much of programming you have to learn. But even that, this is not a tutorial session, but even that has, it has different degrees. So long and short of this point is you have to know yourself. Okay, you have to know yourself and know what you're getting at. So first of all, you have to do your research. So in fact, I think that's the whole point of my presentation. You have to do your research. So think of my presentation as guiding you through how to do the research before you begin, and through your journey. Okay, so the first research you have to do is, what are the areas of tech, what are the careers in tech? Yes. And then try to understand what each career does. Okay, project management. What is project management? What do project managers do? There's project management, there's product management. Yeah, what do data analysts do? You have to research all these things, and you have to understand what is the learning curve. Uh, what things do I need to know? How much time relatively would it take me to learn this? You have to do that initial research before you even decide. Cybersecurity, all these things. Okay, so but after having done that research, or even before you do the research, right? There are some things that are just basic. I'm sorry, you see, this number one point is so silly. I never thought I would have to include it in a presentation, but trust me, I've come across it. Okay, you cannot be a web developer if you cannot operate your computer. All right, that, like, it goes without saying. You can't build anything with your computer if you can't even find your way around it. So anything you want to learn, you can't even be this is not programming. Okay, this is just knowing how to use your tool, and your number one tool is your computer, right? So you have to know how to find your way around it, first of all, right? You have to know how computers work. You have to know what is hardware, what is software, what are application softwares, what are system softwares, just this introduction to computer things. And you have to know how to use Google, right? Um, you see, don't be embarrassed that I'm saying these things. Like I said, I also uh, um, I teach, right? And these are some of the things that I have found uh, that is lacking. Okay, so you have to know how to Google, because vast majority of the things you'll be doing, like I said from the beginning, you have to know what areas, what careers exist in tech. How do you find that out? You Google it, right? But you need to know how to use your keywords to get the results you're looking for. When the results come out, you need to understand how to interpret the results. Otherwise, you'll be clicking on ads on Google without realizing that they're ads. They are not really what you're looking for. You know, you have to know how to, you know, do your search keywords. You have to know you can target a website when you're searching. Do you know that? You know, for instance, if there's a website and I want to search for information from that website only, there's a way you can target that. You know, so these are some of the things that I believe. Of course, maybe that's a little bit advanced, but at the minimum, you should be able to know how to use your keyword, and you should be able to understand the result that Google brings to you, okay, for you to be able to proceed. All right, so after doing all of that, you've acquired the basic knowledge, you've done your research, you've decided, okay, cybersecurity is what I want to do. Okay, analytics is what I want to do. See, there's a difference between data analytics and data analysis. You know, you have to, you know, figure these things out, you know, and then, okay, now I have to put a caveat here also. Granted, some of the tiny, subtle differences you may not really be able to know since you are a newbie and you're just searching. Everything is still, you know, vague, but at least you can get the basic knowledge, and based on that, it's that basic knowledge is sufficient for you to choose one. Okay, so after having done that, right, um you need to research a to hero curriculum. Now, I don't mean look for zero to hero books to read. No, I mean you need to have a pathway, a roadmap from, okay, I'm starting from ground zero. I want to become a pro, right? What what do I need to learn first of all? So that's why I called it a curriculum. It's like you're in school. There's something they bring to you in 100 level. You know, they can't bring you work of 400 level in 100 level. The knowledge is a build up, right? If you start from, so this is usually what happens to some people also, and that's why people that have spoken before me have advocated for you to pay to learn also, because you need a guide. In This is one of the reasons why you need a guide to define a curriculum. If you don't have a curriculum, right, you just Google data analytics. Let's say, for instance, in data analytics, you how to use Power BI. You know, you just jump into it. You don't even know some basic things in Excel. First of all, you don't even know, and then the first video you are watching is showing you how to link Power BI to MySQL, and you know it's just over your head. You know, so you need to, and then some videos they are not properly structured. Mr. Taiwo here is a you know, that part of what he does is to design curriculum. So if you've interacted with him, he can appreciate what I'm saying better, you know. But I hope that everyone here can appreciate that also, at least with that example that I gave. If they would bring you 400 level course in your 100 level, I mean, and if after your 100 level, if everything is haphazard, you know, you are not going to learn well. You know, it's going to be more frustrating that way. So it needs to be step by step. So part of, yeah, you might need the help of a mentor. Like I said, you need a guide. You need someone who has gotten to the end of the road to tell you that this is the road to take. Don't take that road. There's pothole there. Don't take that road. There's heavy traffic there. Take this other road. You know. So now, how do you do that, right? So let's say you're trying to learn on, like I said, first of all, you might need the help of a mentor who is already in that field, you know, in that area of interest that you've chosen. Okay. While you're looking for that mentor, okay, to get started on your own, one of the things you can do is to go look for schools and online courses in that area that offer courses on schools that offer courses or online courses in that area of interest, and compare their curriculum, you know, curriculum, study guide. Just look at it. Go to Coursera, you see what you will learn. You see them itemize it. MIT OpenCourseware, part of preparing for, this talk, I just Googled how to get started in cyber schools that are best schools, for cybersecurity. And I saw that CMU, Carnegie Mellon Universities, came out first. I think MIT came out second. And then from there, you can begin to, go to their website and look at them. Usually before you apply to these schools, I mean, schools abroad, you'll see the study plan, because they expect you to see what you're applying for before you apply. I'm sorry, it's not like some schools may not show that, but MIT OpenCourseware, in fact, not only do they show you the curriculum, they also have this OpenCourseware where they show you, they give you materials for free. So they want you to be able to learn even from your home, without necessarily applying to MIT. So, but not all schools do that. But one thing you can be sure of is famous schools. That's why I put famous schools there. Famous schools, they share their curriculum, not the course materials, but their curriculum. They share it on their website. So you see and compare. So that way you'll be able to tell that, okay, so these schools and this online course, they agree on this topic. So they agree that this topic should come first. Okay, you write it down. So in a way, as a layman, you can kind of design your own curriculum. Again, you need the help of a mentor, but you can still begin to take steps while you're looking for a mentor. And if you have the time or means, getting a degree is actually a good idea, or take courses. Again, like the people who have spoken before me have advocated, and we got that offer from Mr. Ifedolapo. Such a wonderful offer. I mean, I might as well even take advantage of it if it's open to me also, paying less than 10% on Coursera. Please don't let that opportunity pass you by. I mean, I don't know him, but that's such a wonderful thing. So take online courses. But one of the things I like about Coursera also is that, those courses are from universities. So they are designed. It's not just one YouTube video that you're watching. You will still need to watch YouTube videos in your learning, but you need a structured guide to follow, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So, and yeah, so the last thing I like to say on this point is you need to identify while designing, or let me say design, but you understand what I mean with all my explanation so far. So while designing your curriculum, you need to identify the difference between skills and tools. I will say more about that in the coming slides. Okay, so now in the process, so you have a curriculum already. Don't forget where we started from, right? You need to do your first research. In identifying what you want, you need to get the basic knowledge of how to use a computer and Google, and then you need to get your curriculum. And now you have started, right? So after each technique, after each module, right, in your learning, right, you have to practice. Like, don't just do learning by head. That is the one thing you must know in tech, sorry, I don't know a lot about medicine, but I think medical sciences in schools, maybe the first few years are like you're just doing classwork before they start taking you to the lab. Tech is not like that. From your first 101, module that you're taking, you have to practice, what you have taught. The only way you learn is by practicing. All right. And don't just think of those things as, yeah, I'm just practicing. This is especially important when you're learning programming. Okay, you have gone through a material that's showing you how to use if else statements, and you're just doing if a is 1, print 0. That's not good enough. Think of a real world scenario. Think of a banking situation. Okay, somebody wants to withdraw from an ATM. They should only be able to withdraw if their balance is up to the amount they're trying to withdraw. Model that situation with what you have learned. So think of real world scenarios. That's what helps you to put yourself in that real world situation around what you're learning. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, it helps to imagine yourself working for a client. You have a client that's a bank, or you have a client, you're working an account for some people, you're building software for them, etc, etc. All right. So, and then through the process of your learning, at some point, right? Let's say like I said, zero to hero curriculum, right? Let's say you're about 50% through the curriculum, you should have, you know, you would already have some skills, right? Don't wait till you're done before you start looking for, like I said, if you follow this path, right, you're already thinking of use case scenarios, then you can already begin to challenge yourself with some small gigs here and there, right? Even internship opportunities. It's always good to challenge yourself, and this is looking for freelance gigs, is and you know volunteering. I think Mr. Jerry mentioned that also, internship opportunity. That's a good way to challenge yourself, throw yourself in the deep, you know. And yeah, part of why you need that is because when you are looking for jobs, when you are looking to actually get paid, either as a freelancer or to get the job, right? One thing that you know you will need is to demonstrate your skill by experience. I mean, real world experience. Okay, if you can have all the certifications in the old world, and by every means you should have them. Okay, but without the experience, nobody will want to trust you with their job. All right. So part of how to get the experience, of course, is that number four that I itemized. So, and even after you have become a pro, this process continues. All right. So learning the hard skills, right? So in my head, right, and remember that disclaimer that I put from the beginning. Okay, this is my own opinion from my experience. So I believe that hard skills are um, in two forms, right? You have the tools, and then you have what I call the intuition, right? Now, the tools, you absolutely have to learn to use the tools. Let me take an example of graphics designer, okay, or graphics design. Pardon me. If I use another example, I may be saying sometimes that you may not understand, but I think everyone should be able to relate to graphic designs. All right, so you're trying to train or learn to become a graphic designer, right? You need to know how to use Corel Draw, Photoshop, and the likes. Those are your tools, okay? And by every means, you should know those tools, not just to do basic transformations, but to get to the, try and know it beyond average, try and push yourself. I think Mr. Ifedolapo did, a lot of justice to that. You have to, he said, one of the things that he said is, you can be the best, but he tries to be better than the best. That is one thing you have to push for. Okay. Now, but beyond the tools, you need to have intuition. Okay. Uh, Back to the graphics design example. As a graphics designer, you can know how to use all the tools. This reminds me, I think in 2009, I was trying to learn how to become a graphics designer. In fact, that's where I started my own tech skills, um, should I say tech career or what? My tech journey, yes. Also, I was training to. It would interest you that one of I use PowerPoint to try and do graphics design. Like Mr. Taiwo said, we have banged our heads left and right, And then I learned Corel Draw, and I really, really learned Corel Draw. Like, I could use every tool there. But guess what? I always found out that any design that I made, right, in those times, they still used to do, programs, church programs. They would handbills was very common in 2009. It's not as common again now. So I would make sure to collect, as all the handbills that anyone was willing to hand to me, not because I wanted to attend the program, but because I wanted to see the design. And when I compared to the design that I did, mine was always off. And I would wonder, this person is just using solid colors, no gradients, nothing, and just rectangles all over the place. And I have used gradients, I've transformed, I've drop shadow, everything. So creativity is the intuition, that you need as a graphics designer. So I knew how to use the tool, but I didn't have the creativity, So this is where the difference comes in, right? Um, and part of how you build that creativity, that intuition, which is creativity in the case of a graphics designer, how you build it is, by having your work evaluated by a pro, right? Having a mentor, you see, this is one thing that keeps coming up. And in my own situation, like that graphics design example that I was giving, even though I didn't have a mentor, I was collecting I had access to professional work that I was collecting and keeping and using to I was evaluating my own work against that work. So that's also one thing you can do, because I know getting a mentor can be daunting. Actually, a lot of pros, they don't want to have too many people on their plate. Also because of what people show them. That's why, from what Mr. Jerry was saying, somebody, and I think Mr. Tai also said the same thing. Somebody mentors ask you to pay, not because they want to use your money, because they want to make sure you're serious and they want to push off on serious people because they are busy, So, so it can be difficult or daunting to quickly get a mentor, right? So, but one way you can navigate while looking for a mentor is by, when you have access to work of professionals, always evaluate your work against that and try and understand what is the difference. I know how to use the tool, but why is my work not looking as pro as their work? At times, especially in graphics design, not just in graphic design, coding, in a lot of things, less is more, but you have to know how to do the less, to achieve the more. That is the intuition I'm talking about. Also, let's say in machine learning, for instance, the intuition there would be I'm sorry, I'm aware that I think I'm way beyond schedule. I mean, my time is fast spent, but I feel I still need to talk about this to give other examples. Let's say you're trying to learn to be a data scientist or machine learning engineer, for instance, and you're trying to learn, all these, like Mr. Dolako was saying earlier, about you want to build sentiment analysis, regression, building models generally, right? And you're trying to determine what factors, are important. You can have the tools. You can know how to use the tools. Okay, you have scikit-learn. You have, in fact, you can know how to use deep learning, TensorFlow, um, Keras, and the likes. PyTorch, you know how to use them. But that's the tool, right? But the intuition there comes when you know how to how to select your features, when you know feature engineering. Maybe I'm speaking a little bit over your head now, but again, that's why I started with the graphics design example, so that you can understand what I'm saying, what I mean. Okay, so this intuition in different, also, let's say you're trying to go into cybersecurity, right? You can learn the tools. You have all the softwares that you can use to test network and do all of that, But let's say you're trying to brute force a password, for instance, rather than going through all the possible combinations in the whole world, which, by the way, might take you God knows how many days. That is if you have a software that's programmed to do that. One of the soft skills, intuition rather, that they use, in cybersecurity is actually psychology. You just understand how humans think. You do a little bit of social engineering, and you're able to narrow down the 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 possibilities, the combination, to just a few things. This person, looking at this person, most likely he used his son's password. His not son's name as a password. Now the possibility is drastically narrowed, and then you are able to break into the system. Of course, you are doing that to test to test. That's just an example, right? That's what cybersecurity is. So I'm just giving examples of the difference between tools, knowing how to use the tools, and yes, you must know how to use the tools, and having an intuition. Okay. Let me come back to AI for a moment. So, for instance, um, you see, in the previous slide where I was talking about drawing out a curriculum, if you want to go into AI, for instance, or even machine learning, right, data science, one of the things that you see aside statistics, right, is a lot of mathematics. You see linear algebra. You see differential equations. You see that, and somewhere you might be thinking, why do I need to learn all this. Let me just get into the code and all of that. But you see, some of those things, and that's again, that speaks to why you need to have a guide. That speaks to why if you don't have a mentor, the other alternative that I gave, just look at these schools. They are not dumb, okay? They are not stupid for putting those things in their curriculum, okay? So part of why you need it is actually without these things, you can't get an intuition for what you're doing. You just be hacking your way through, okay? It's not just about, yeah, I can use the parameters and everything, but you need to know when you feed in something to a model and you get a response, you get a result. You need to know what that result means. Okay. So I'm just trying to, the reason why I came back to this is to point out that there are some things that you might find in the curriculum that will have a direct implication on getting an intuition, but you as a learner will not understand that from the beginning, and you might be tempted to just push that aside and let's get to the code, let's get to the main business. No, please don't jump. All right. So yeah, another way to get intuition, and in fact that's what I just said, is to get more educated by taking courses. You heard Mr. Ifedolako talk about he would take additional courses, even though the certification he already has covers it. He will still do additional certification. Take more courses on specific things, specific areas, specific topics. So, which means even after you become a pro, I still have courses that I have outlined that I'm supposed to start soon. Okay. So, on specific topics, go in deeper, right? Take more courses. That's how you become, you have that thing becomes second nature to you, right? It's like driving. Is driving even a good example to use? I'm trying to not get too technical, really. But as you get in, right, you know the basics, you're already a pro, you're working professionally, learning, taking more courses. You heard again, Mr. Ifedolako talk about, yeah, he has done his master's, he's still going to do his PhD. So it goes both ways, either regular school courses or um, online courses. Okay, so I'm almost done. Pardon me. So yeah, job search. So at this point, right, through our journey, I'm assuming you've already learned, you're already a pro, right? Or you're approaching that pro level already, you're trying to look for jobs. You need a resume and a portfolio, right? Now, one of the things I found is that you can know how to design good resumes generally, but each field have specifics of what a good resume look like, each area of interest, has that. So that is also something that you will need someone to tell you. Okay, and I'm telling you now. So you need to research. Okay, again, having a mentor helps here. You just send your CV over to him or ask him for your CV for his CV, his resume, and then you see the key things, the keywords. You see the structure, you see what things were highlighted. You just see everything. Another thing is you can just Google data scientist resume or entry level data scientist resume, and you just see samples, you see the things highlighted. So in every resume, right, one of the things, what you have to make sure you do is, however you do it, you have to highlight relevant achievements. Not just, oh, I've done this job. What did you achieve in doing that job? You know, I'm going to try to not get into too much details about that because of time. And then, yeah, portfolio too. You can't just have pet projects. Your pet projects have to be a model of the real world, because as a beginner, right, you probably don't have any real world experience. Remember, I said experience is everything in tech. So, how to convince an employer to trust you is to have something as close as possible to the real world. If it's not the real world, to show, to demonstrate your skill. Okay. And then you have to get familiar with job sites. A lot has been said about uh, connecting. I'm not going to say too much about that, getting them in. So attending tech events is, one of the ways to get connected, following prominent tech people online. People they just share opportunities, all over if you are connected. So yeah, and like I think it was Mr. Taiwo that said it, you should have something to give. You know, if let's say because you're trying to connect to people who are already ahead of you, right? You should have a value to demonstrate. Otherwise, it's just going to be, it's going to, it might very quickly, they might see you as a parasite, unfortunately, and they may want to get away from you. I think it was Mr. Jerry that was talking about. I think what it was his mentor that was telling him that if somebody uses this language, but it's not even just about language. Like generally, people just want to get away from people that are not adding anything to them. So that's one of the wisdom around finding mentors and connecting to people. You want to demonstrate that you have value, that you're not just coming to take from them. You have some value. So part of how to use connections wisely is also to not ask them to be your tutor. Okay. I say this a lot. Please don't ask mentors to be your tutor. Rather, like I said, use it wisely. How do you use it wisely? Go learn. If you have a very specific issue, then reach them on that very specific issue and define it clearly so that they just answer you in one word and you have a way through. Okay. But if you go to them, I don't know anything, come and I'm sorry, it's not going to work. All right. So like I said, it will impact, having this network will impact your learning and you will get more opportunities. I'm sorry for taking so much time, but I hope it's been a time well spent. So that is the end of what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Can we all give, there's a reaction. Let's clap for our speakers. Just the reaction, use the reaction. Let's give them a clap. Uh, or you can use the chat to give them a thanks. Thank you for taking the time, to uh, give us this information. These informations they are very key. They are very key. Personally, I appreciate webinars. Part of my journey, one of the things that helped me to move fast was a webinar I hosted. I was one that hosted it for people, but I think the webinar was more for me. I hosted the webinar after my service NYSC back at 2020. Yeah. And it's from the webinar I got more information about what I'm doing today. So I can't appreciate you less. Thank you. Because of our time, I also want to apologize to all the participants, for taking our time. Of course, we started a bit late, you know, we all came in like 10 minutes, 5, 10 minutes after 7. We want to take questions. I'll just give you a summary of what I think all the three participants have been saying. If you are going into a tech career, either the soft skill, hard skills, you need to be, let it be an area that you have an interest in. Do your research, find the areas that you really have, you are passionate about, you have interest in, then you want to have a mentor. All these speakers, they mentioned that, which is very key. You need to have a mentor, someone who can help you, you know, tell you this is what you need to avoid. Mentor will just help you to avoid some audios. Then you want to have a portfolio. That is after you learn, probably take a course, a degree, or an online course guided by your mentor, or probably you join like Mr. Jerry said, he has an academy, for brand identity designers. If your mentor have a platform like that, pay to learn. It's good to pay to learn. I'm sorry I keep saying this, maybe because I pay to learn, you know, but you can also, I think you can learn, like Rosha was saying, you can learn, uh, let's say personally, you get a curriculum, a divine curriculum, but it's not okay. You just want to learn cybersecurity, you just go to YouTube, cybersecurity course. You just see like 6 hours course and you don't know where to start from, where to go next. So if you have a curriculum to follow, you can learn on your own. Someone okay, Samuel Oge is a he learns photography on YouTube. we had the time we discussed about that. I learned for photography, our photography skills. I learned it by going to a mentor to pay, for some 3 to 6 months. That was before my service year. So we all have history of how we start, entering into this tech career. So you need to get a mentor. Probably he has a community where you can pay to learn. You need to learn. You need to have a portfolio. You need to also place yourself online. This is, I think, the three participants did not really hammer on that, but I think it is very important. You need to have an online presence. Okay, yeah, Mr. Jerry mentioned that, he said he has his own portfolio on, I can't remember the platform again. So you need to have an online presence. A very good place to be is on LinkedIn. I have seen, through the form that that was put out, quite a number of us don't have a good uh, presence on LinkedIn. I've checked, I've tried to connect with people that are at least there. Please, it's good to, I can't overemphasize that because personally, some of my major projects that I've done that have earned me thousands or close to a million or millions is I got them from LinkedIn actually. People just enter your DM. Wow, your profile is very nice. I like what you've done, your experience and all that. So can we work together? Can we have a meeting? And from there, you have a contract. So please, online presence is very key. You need to place yourself online, interact with the community. When you are on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is not Facebook or, you have to connect with people that are doing what you are doing or people that need your service. There are ways that, you connect on LinkedIn. So you need to join a community. They've said that you need to volunteer. Please, this is also very important, like super important. I tell people when you learn a tech skill, you may not immediately get a job. Actually, okay, you may not immediately get a job, but you can volunteer. People are looking for volunteers everywhere. I will share a link on our group chat. It is volunteeringmatch.org. I got a volunteer position that also from that platform. I got the volunteer position with a US company. Because I was able to volunteer with them, they recommended me for another US company who is ready to offer, who is ready to, give me a job and, pay, for the service. So volunteering is very key. And when employers see that you've volunteered or you've interned before, they see that this person is ready to, you have work experience, you have work experience, you work on real projects, not just assumed projects, real projects. And that gives you a more leverage to get a job. So then you keep upskilling, keep learning, keep learning. If you're in a community, it will help you to know what is trending in your field, then it will help you to know what next to learn. I'm sure if Mr. Ifedolapo is not probably in a community, you will not know that, okay, this particular project management, there's another exam for it, there's another revolution around it. So these are key points that we need to take note. I will just run through the charts. I want us to close as soon as possible. I'll run through the charts and see if we have questions. Okay. Think. Sorry, give me a minute. Okay. Yeah, the first question here. Okay. All right. Someone is asking, how Sarat Adeyemi is asking, can you please shed more light on data analysis? Okay. About, I don't know. I hope you're on the group chats. Okay. Let me give Mr. Dolapo just like a minute to shed more light on data analysis. Probably, what data analysis?
Hello,
Yeah.
let me ask the question, sir.
Okay, you asked the question, right?
Yes, I don't know like so much. I don't know so much about the data analysis because I started learning it like 2 months ago. But then I stopped because I wasn't really. I don't know why. I think it wasn't just for me. Because I tried to learn like on YouTube and like downloading some apps, but I wasn't just understanding and getting it. So I just stopped. I tried to learn the UI UX and I was not just into it too. So I just asked, especially the coding part. So that's why I'm stuck at
Okay, Mr. Dolapo, did you hear that? Please, can you also answer together with how can I know what's, in this tech, how can I know which parts I'm supposed to take? Like just a little more on that because she has done data, she has tried data analysis, she felt this is not for me, and also UI UX. So please,
Okay, okay, sir. All right, just in a minute. When she was talking, funny how I was just laughing because that aspect, that route is what everybody does. Okay. I could remember a time when I was in school, I was at work and some guys, some old women came to me from UBA. There were about three of them, and they were like, okay, they are from UBA, that they directed them to come to the IT department of Babcock and that they want to learn data engineering, at cyber security. They just came with one big thing. I was like, the woman said no, that that's what they have to learn. I was like, ma, your head cannot carry this thing. I'm not lying. It was very funny when I was saying that. My colleague that brought them to me was laughing. That no, 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 your head cannot carry it. Like it's not, I'm not trying to say that you are not smart, but the thing is that one of the things that we just need to know is that in aspect of tech, especially for people that have started working, let me say this, for workers already, learn tech skill that is related to your job. Learn tech skill that you can relate with. Because I know that most people that want to learn tech skill as a worker is because of money. Let's be clear. Passion is not your driving force. Anybody that is already making money, passion cannot be a driving force for you into tech. It's more money. It's either you want to make more money or you want to japa. See, either of the two, there's no, it means that if you are going to thrive in tech, choose a part of tech that is related to your job. Let me now say this to you. There is no job you are doing in life that there's no aspect of tech that advances that job in this current time. Even if you are, someone was asking a question, let me just chip that in and answer that question once and for all. Even if you are in construction, project management is a test skill you need as a construction worker. Once you have that, you are cleared. There's no point in just arguing with anybody. You are better than any other person on that field. Why? Because practically you will know how to handle project from the beginning to the end. One of our close friends, Bro Matthew, I think but I knows him. One of the things that I personally, it was private class with two project management together. It was private class. Even though we didn't finish, it was disturbing me, disturbing me, disturbing me. I will tell him that, okay, don't worry, next week, next week, next week. Our next week has not finished, but we have covered more than 60% of what's in it. And he's making use of it currently in his job. So if you're into constructions, just face that thing. So in answering your question, don't go eta sketa. What exactly are you doing currently? If you know what you are doing currently, what aspect of tech can advance what you are doing currently? And if we are talking about data science is so much, it's so wide. It captures data engineering, captures cybersecurity, captures everything. But if you want to talk about data analytics, you are talking about visualization basically. You are talking about probably business analysis. You are talking about um, pie charts, bar charts, just showing trends, business trends, and all of that. In fact, if you go more details into that, you might be going into prediction of time series analysis. That one, you're already going into engineering part of it. We're already entering into Mr. I've forgotten his name now. You're already entering into his field. Okay. But if you are going to stay around the soft part of it, the easiest part of aspect of data science is actually visualization. Like pie chart, bar chart, and people are using it. I can tell you that people make money with business analysis just by looking at a particular business, telling them, like describing their data. We call it descriptive statistics. You are just describing what you can, just making, turning figures into shapes. All of us do it at one point with Excel. I don't know if anybody do it there. Me, I did it, even though I don't know what I did. I will always want pie chart on my Excel. I will just want to transform to pie chart. That is there. So please, please, and please, I think don't go. And if you want to go, you now try UI UX too. It's a bad place to start. It's a bad way to start. UI UX is a bad place to start, especially if you don't have knowledge of design. It's a bad space to start. What's it called? One of the speaker was talking the other time about the fact that he started design with PowerPoint. Yeah, I like people even still do it. I don't know. When I was went for interview in the tech space I was, like, do you know funny thing that happened? They asked us to do a presentation with PowerPoint, and I designed a full-blown landing page with PowerPoint, like a landing page with PowerPoint, UI UX. When the boss came in, the boys said like, "Eh?" He said, "What am I doing?" That they asked me to be using PowerPoint, that I'm using another, I'm designing. I said, "It's PowerPoint." He didn't believe me. I said, "It's PowerPoint." He was like, "How did you do it?" I said, so that's also balance what he was saying about, as far as you know, skills is very, very important. In fact, sometimes skill help you even that irrespective of the tools you are using, it can be easier. I know that for the data engineer now, if I give him any Python, R or something, he just need little understanding of how the tool works. I'm sure he will fly because he already knows the model, the modalities and everything. So what I would just say to you, man, is just that you want to go into tech as an older person, seek for something that is related to what you are doing. Look for it, mention what you are doing, search online. You may not tell us, search online. This is what I'm doing. What are the aspects of tech that can you realize that there are soft skills that you can learn in that place, or even hard skills in case you're interested. And if you're a young person, please look for something that you also have interest in. Look for something. Everybody has spoken about that. Sit down and think. Don't let money only be your driving force. Yeah, also, although money can be your driving force, yeah, everybody loves money. Don't deceive yourself. Money can also drive you. Trust me, money can drive you. Like money can be a good driving force, but let it not be the basis of what you are doing. Be encouraged, but look at what. Don't faint on. Don't do something that you faint on the road. It's not always the best. I think. I think I should have been able to answer that. I don't know. So just look at that aspect of tech, from simple to complex. Look at the areas you can fit into. Don't do trial and error. Don't do trial and error. In fact, that's why seek guidance. Ask me when those UBA guys told me, after I discussed with them, they all of them end up going and learn social media management. He said, Moka, like in my chat. I just like chatting. Oga, go and be learning how to upload pictures and learn how to post for people on Instagram. Not data engineering. She even said, I said, how many hours can you be committed to learning in a week? She said, maybe like 2 hours. I said, you cannot know data science. It will take 5 years for you to be able to say you want to have a job. I said, do you have 5 years? She said, no. I said, so let's stay with what you have 6 months to learn, 2 months to learn, 3 months, that you can even start learning and making something out of it. Do you get? So I think that's that.
So thank you. In summary, please get to research different tech skills, either soft skills or hard skills. Then find one that you have interest in that resonates with your passion. Then from there get a mentor. So we'll be very fast. Mr. Shah, you have to jump on another meeting. So we might be releasing him to go. So we have just few more questions before we call it a day. So someone asked, is coding important in every tech skill? I think the sessions have answered that. Uh, it is not every tech skill that require coding. The soft skills that have been mentioned, project management, digital marketing, and the list goes on. I will also share that on the group chat. They don't require you to have a coding skill. Then the next good question is, please, can you share the portfolio platform? I think that goes to Mr. Jerry Israel. The platform you mentioned the other time for your portfolio, please, can you probably type it in the chat so that people can have the platform? I think it's also it's a very good platform to check people's work, especially brand designers. So, Mr. Jerry, you can just drop that maybe a link or the name of the portfolio platform, or maybe your own portfolio platform, and drop that in the chat for Then the next question is, how can I incorporate tech as a built environment professional? As okay, maybe someone in construction, how can I incorporate tech into that field? I think Mr. Dolapo was mentioning that in just now. Uh, I don't know if you would like to just, Mr. Dolapo, just in just few seconds, how can someone incorporate tech into maybe building construction? Um, I think, yeah, please, you can
I've
go ahead.
answered it. Funny how I've answered it already. I saw that question when I was answering. That
Okay,
how can someone, so the best bet is just to learn. Project management is one of, like I'm not just overemphasizing it. You can, is one of the skill you need as someone in construction. Someone in construction, there's an approach we call waterfall approach in project management. That's what construction workers use. If I began to talk about it now, you'll be surprised that those are the things you are using that you don't know. So just be like, and in case you want to move to the media part of it, you can go into um digital marketing, all of those. There's no any aspect of tech that you can't use in construction, except development, like coding. So, and again, that answer your question. The person asked the question, not all test skills involves coding. It does not all. Not all. So I think that's that.
all right, thank you, sir. The next uh, user, the first speaker said something about how people magnifies every area of tech focus on. Is actually true, and also that coding parts. My question is, does the skill works for everybody, unlike coding? Yes, let me just answer that. Uh, I don't know what you mean by works for everybody, but like Mr. Anshayo was saying that one of the things you get is apart from the monetary value that comes at the end, you also get fulfillment. So for whatever skill you go into, especially if the skill is your area of interest, you have this fulfillment that you are doing what you like to do, not just what's available to be do. So it comes with fulfillment, and also I can say most tech skill, after you gain your experience, you've learned and all that, you get and you have a job, you'll be comfortable, you'll be comfortable. Even if it is graphics design, Mr. Israel and Mr. Dolapo said it's one of the watered down tech skill. But if you learn really and you're a good graphic designer, you can't be earning 2K for a design. You can't be billing 2K for a design. So that's
You can't,
since
oh, you can't. People
you
are
can't
companies are willing to pay for good designs if only one can position oneself very well.
absolutely. Okay, so Mr. Samuel Taiwo asking if this slide will be available. Yes, Mr. Jerry has shared the slides with me, his own slides already. So I'll be sharing the slides with us after the session. All right, awesome. Thank you from Agatha. Thank you from Williams. And okay, is coding needed in cybersecurity? I'm not sure Mr. Shayo is still with us. Uh, so is coding needed in cybersecurity? Yes, yes, actually, it is needed in cybersecurity. So that answered the question. Coding is needed in cybersecurity. Uh, like Mr. Shayo mentioned something. So, there's this slide that you mentioned that you know how to operate computer, those basic stuff. I've seen people that come to me that I want to learn coding.
I don't like JavaScript. So in that case, I have bias in talking about development. Okay. I started learning it. I can code, I can do HTML and CSS well. But when I got to JavaScript, I ran. But in the real sense of the whole thing, coding is involved. It's not as plenty as other aspects of tech, but it's involved. Because if you don't understand code, then how do you want to understand the hacking? You want to hack into something, you don't understand how it works. So you have to learn. In fact, if you want to learn cybersecurity, online courses in a structured way They will actually teach you how to develop first before they start telling you how to start querying. Do you get? So I don't know if that always back. I was just talking so that to fill in the gap. I think
Thank you. I think
the
the
network logged in away, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you.
thank you, thank you. I remember I was having a meeting
Okay.
with an international client at Canada, and my network was like, the way Nigerian network is, you just be begging, Lord, please let MTN cooperate today. So it's just part of it. It's part of it. So the next, okay, we've answered that. All areas of coding, just basic. Okay, you need more advanced coding than. Okay, oh, thank you, Mr. Shayo. Just answered that question. You will need more advanced coding than that. Remember, when I asked about system programming versus application programming, cybersecurity requires you to do more of system programming, which is more low level, aka more technical. All right, I think it's the same thing that Mr. Dolapo just said. You need a little of coding to be a very good cybersecurity person. Okay, thank you, Mr. Israel. He has dropped the link for the person that asked. Then please let's just follow the comment session. I think we are done with all the questions that we have, Mr. Shayo, but you decide that coding is not for you. Make sure you are not just afraid of it. Okay, that is really just not your thing. If it is fair, a good challenge might be to try and overcome that fear. Yeah, this is also very important. A lot of people shy away from coding because they are afraid that they won't get it. You've not even tried it, you feel like you won't get it. So please don't be afraid. Uh, you can just give it a try, look at what is being done, get someone to mentor you. Then if it is not for you, get a skill that is good. So I want to thank everyone for staying through this event, this webinar. I'll be sharing the materials that our speakers have shared with us, and also I'll be sharing their LinkedIn page for you to connect with them. Please, if you are not on LinkedIn, be on LinkedIn, and connect with professionals on that platform. So once again, I want to thank our speakers, Mr. Shayo. Mr. Shayo also gave us this Zoom account, to use for this webinar. So I will thank you for that. And Mr. Jerry, thank you. These people are married, Mr. Shayo, Mr.
My
Jerry.
pleasure.
They are still giving us this. To get someone that is married to talk till 9 p.m. is not beans. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for staying through with us. And Mr. Dolapo can send us your IV. You, so the next event is for instructional designers, which is my own specific field. I have gotten quite a number of persons, like more than 6 months, who are asking me to put them through in the field. And I can say it is also time constrained. But now I'm making plans to mentor people in that specific field. So you can do a little research if it is a field that you are interested in, or if you're a teacher and you have passion in teaching, or you want to move out of the classroom, because instructional design is an education technology field under educational technology. So we do more of staff training and development. Probably you've heard of learning and development. We package all these Coursera courses, online courses. That is our own field. We package them, we make them very engaging and interactive for the learners. And we do a lot of staff training across different fields, finance, health, just what have you. We train staffs, we upskill them, and we do a lot. We do a lot. It's a very interesting field. So that is the next event that we have, but also it is a paid event. So if you are not, it's just a little commitment of 5,000. I had the opportunity to invite one of my mentors Thomas Garrod. I have two of them. They are outside the US. When the full training starts next year, we'll be bringing them to come and train, the participants, in that specific field, which is animal. So thank you again for, taking the time to participate in this event. So bye. I don't know how to end it, so I think we can. All right, see everyone. Thank you. Bye. You can just say bye anything, your closing remarks. You can unmute yourself and
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
right. Yeah, thank you. Bye. Have a wonderful night rest.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.